everybody, welcome to the channel, and if you're new here to this video or this channel is geared towards news, reviews regarding resellers, the world of e-commerce, and anything that may affect our business positively and or negatively. And today we're going to dive into, I don't know if it's, everybody has their own opinion. I was going to say, kind of controversy, but, everybody has their own opinion on shipping and how you should be shipping. If you're on Amazon and you do FBA, you just ship it off to Amazon, they take care of everything. But here we primarily focus on eBay and other sites to a small extent, like Mercari, Poshmark, and where we handle the shipping ourselves. And a lot of people have strong opinions on how you should ship, what you should be selecting when you ship, how much, should the buyer pay, should you do free shipping, a lot of different opinions on the subject. And the reason why we bring it up is because a lot of people have been getting emails from eBay. They are shifting from the having the full cost of shipping via USPS. I don't know if it affects the other, like FedEx or UPS, but I do know it affects USPS starting May 15th of this year, which is 2024. They're shifting from the full cost being shown to buyers to the discounted rate. Now on eBay, we get a discounted rate for shipping. Makes it a little easier, easier to, for the buyer to swallow the cost of shipping, because shipping can be incredibly expensive. I don't know if you've recently visited USPS, tried to ship something out. Postal Annex. I have a Postal Annex next to my house. It's where sometimes when I have to go in, it doesn't happen very often, but when I have to go in and actually ship something by using those means, I'll go to Postal Annex, and the shipping cost is incredible. It's just wow. I'm kind of, being an eBay seller for so long, I've just become accustomed to the rates that are offered on eBay. So when I go into the post office or any other company that offers postal rates, it's like wow, it's kind of mind-boggling. So definitely, if you guys have not shipped anything out through normal USPS, anything besides like a letter, if you try to ship out a package, just go in and see what the prices are. Just get a sense, and you'll realize like wow, this is really crazy. Now, if you do ship stuff out, maybe not so regularly, but you want to kind of avoid those high fees, I would definitely look at Pirate Ship. Get an account on there. Account is free, and you will get those rates similar to eBay, if not on par with eBay as well, too. I don't really see too much variation as far as how much it costs to ship on Pirate Ship via eBay. So, eBay is shifting over to having the discounted rate be the primary. Now there is an option in eBay to switch them back and forth. You can do that now if you want. But I think, I didn't receive the email, but I think a lot of people that are getting the email are ones that offer the non-discounted rate. I've always offered the discounted rate. Why have I done that? Well, two reasons. First, to be as competitive as possible. Sometimes you'll see these, when you're going through eBay, you'll see people shipping rates be really, really high. And if I can beat them on shipping, that's what I try to do. And I think that's really contributed to my success on the platform. The other thing, too, as well, is as a buyer, I buy stuff on eBay, too. And when I just go in there and I see some of these high shipping rates, knowing what I know from being a seller, I'm like, wow, this is outrageous. I'm not going to, I do stay away from the people that are charging just an exorbitant amount. Sometimes I have no choice because they're the only ones that are offering that product, and I just be like, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to pay it because that's what I want. But I do know that I can get it. I do know that there is a cheaper option that the person's not offering. And as a seller on eBay, I always try to put myself in the buyer's shoes. What is going to make the buyer want to purchase my item? And a lot of people, they don't want to pay extra costs. They want to pay extra fees. Mercari several weeks ago, they shifted fees over from the sellers to the buyers, and we have yet to see maybe if that will have any major effect on people's purchasing habits. Perhaps that will balance itself out by sellers having to lower their cost to accommodate for those extra fees. So we'll see about that one. But offering the lower fees, I believe, is the best course of action, in my opinion. You guys can do whatever you wish to do. You know, if you guys want to continue and still have success, if you still have success and want to continue offering the higher rates, then by all means do so. Just be aware that eBay will automatically shift it over unless you take action on it. Now, that also too leads to a lot of people probably not seeing it, not catching it. And a lot of people, I bet, will be shifted over to the lower shipping fees and maybe not know it, maybe not catch it immediately, and therefore put those ones that are still offering the higher shipping fees at a disadvantage. Now, this does not affect anybody that uses a flat rate shipping. Flat rate shipping will still remain flat rate shipping. Personally, I also do not offer flat rate shipping. I do calculated shipping on all my items. I offer the discounted rate. I don't offer any free shipping at all. So, and you know, what I've done with my shipping is I offer a flat weight system, or I do a flat weight system. So everything falls into a certain category. Most items that I sell, you know, I do sell a lot of small items here. These are some like Alfred Hitchcock golf divot fixers, I believe, if I remember correctly. But you know, something like this, these are small, probably about 2 ounces or so is what they would ship for. I would automatically round this up to 10 ounces, and that's what it would ship for. And then once it starts to hit about 6 or 7 ounces, then it goes up to 13 ounces. Then once you get to the pounds, you know, that's kind of like it was an item that like mugs and stuff. I'll automatically put 2 pounds and use a 6x6x6 box, and then that gets me. But I don't put 6x6x6 box in the actual when I'm shipping it out. I'll use my standard. If for those of you that don't know, I use a standard shipping size of 12 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches. And now that eBay has shifted over to the cubic pricing for USPS, when I ship a mug out now, I change that to 6x6x6, and it drops it down by about $1. So that all this, you know, the reason why I do that is to help offset the cost of my shipping supplies, because shipping supplies can get expensive, and I do recommend, if you do purchase your own shipping supplies, to buy in bulk. That way you get a better overall price. It's going to cost more up front, but for each individual piece, it's going to really drive that price down on those. So, okay, so just be aware. That's changing May 5th. If you do not want to offer the discounted shipping rate, you have to take action on that. I haven't received that email because because I'm already on the discounted shipping rate. So if you do see that, there will be some action to take on it. The other thing regarding shipping is, and I have some shipping videos on this channel specifically, not on my main channel, but on this channel I do have some shipping videos where I ship items out. You guys can take a look at that if you do have any questions, or just want to see, you know, how to ship items out. You know, I shipped I think there's a lantern, a vintage Coleman lantern that I shipped out on this, and I had to disassemble the whole thing and you know, use proper packaging material to make sure that it ships out safely. And you know, your sale really isn't complete until that item gets to the customer safely. And if you offer free returns, which I do, you know, you have to wait for that period, you know, that 30-day, I offer 30-day free returns, so you kind of have to wait for that 30-day period to elapse, and technically you're not going to get that item back. Shouldn't get that item back. But, what was I going to say about that? Okay, so, yeah, it's not a completed sale until you get that item to that customer safely. Also, too, and that goes along with sometimes items. That goes along with? Is that the right wording? I don't know. But if the item doesn't make it to the customer, now there's a couple of instances where, you know, the customer can come back and say, I didn't receive the item. But if you go in there and check the tracking, if it says delivered, you are covered in eBay's eyes. You got that item to the customer, and done. Completed. If they open up a case saying, I did not get this item, because it says delivered to the address that eBay has on file, eBay will side with the seller. I don't know, maybe if there's instances where you just get so many of those at a, they may take a closer look at it. I don't know. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, and it is something to be aware of. So don't fret if you get a message and you see that it's been delivered to the address that eBay has on file for that customer, and it's did I say that right? And it's delivered. You're covered. You've done your part. Now, if for some reason you went in there and changed the address, if the buyer said, hey, I didn't get my item, or no, at the point of sale, and the buyer says, hey, you know what, I put the wrong address in, or that's my old address, can you change it for me? Now you're in a bit of a situation where you may not have that protection if the item gets delivered, but it's not to the address that eBay has on file. I take this, it depends. I recently had somebody ask to change the address. They said, I'm at school right now, and I want it delivered here, not to my home address. In that instance, I canceled the order, and I had them repurchase it and put in the new address, because it's going out to a university, probably staying in the dorms. I don't know the mail situation there. I don't know who's going to get the item. Someone could say I didn't get it, but yet, maybe one of their roommates or something signed for it. I didn't want to take that chance, so I told them, please change the address. I'll cancel the order, and you can please repurchase it and make sure you put the appropriate address. I have had instances where people have said, this is a gift, and can you send it over here? I go in, I check the person's, I quickly look at the person, their reviews, and see how long they've been on eBay. If it's something that's, if they've been on there for a couple years, 2-3 years, they have, pretty good standing, I'll be like, that's fine, no big deal. I've had the ones where they've moved, completely different states. Again, I'll go in there and I'll take a look. I'll be like, all right, let me just take a look at this buyer and just see. If it's somebody that's brand new, somebody that's been within the last year, I will always cancel it and tell them, hey, you know what, you can repurchase this and change the address. I'll come up with something like, eBay, unfortunately, I can't change that address. You have to change it with eBay. So, okay. But another instance, or another thing to be cautious about, is if the customer says, I did not get this item, does happen from time to time, and you go and check the tracking, and you see, yes, it has not been delivered. You have about, I think it's a 3-day window, if I remember correctly. It's a 3-day window to take action on that. Otherwise, eBay will take action. And if the item has not been delivered to the customer with the address that eBay has on file, eBay will side with the buyer. And if that happens, if you allow that time frame to elapse with no action on your part, now by action, because they'll give you some options. They'll give you an option to message the buyer. It'll give you an option to update tracking. But if the buyer does not receive that item after they've opened a case, and you let that time elapse, eBay will take action. If eBay has to take action on it, that is a defect on your account, and you do not want defects on your account. One of the major defects that occurs is you don't have an item in stock. You've already sold it, you lost it. That's a defect as well too. That's probably one of the more common ones. But if for some reason that customer does not get the item, and you see in the tracking it has not been delivered, you can wait. Those 3 days. You have a full 3 days to wait. Once those 3 days have elapsed, you need to you kind of have no choice. If you want to keep your account in good standing, you have to refund the buyer. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. There's really no way around it. I wish there was, because things get lost in the mail all the time, and I wish there was a different way. But as far as on my side, it doesn't happen that often. It does happen from time to time. Yes, it happens in when you're sending stuff, who knows where. Then it's going to happen. If you do international shipping and it does get lost after it's been at eBay's International Shipping Hub, you're covered by eBay. But within the borders of the U.S., or within the 50 states, I should say, you are liable, basically, you're liable. If that item does not get to the customer, you have to assume the responsibility and refund that customer the amount. Otherwise, your account could fall. If you are a top-rated seller, it could fall to above standard, and then it could fall to below standard after that. And some people say there's no ramifications as far as making sales. There is a discount that you could lose out on if you're not top-rated. But as far as exposure, technically, you probably would get less exposure on eBay, not such a great placement for your items. I don't know exactly how the algorithm looks at that. I've seen people where they've still had great sales. I think if you still offer great items at great prices, you'll still get great sales. You might not get as much. Well, everybody's experience with that will be different. But for the most part, you definitely want to maintain a top-rated seller status. In my case, I do maintain top-rated plus, and if you can. So, either way, that's everything here. If there's any, there's one more piece of news, but I'll probably put that in another video. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next one. Please hit the thumbs up button to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for when these videos drop. This channel isn't as consistent as my other channel, so you definitely want to hit the bell notification to get notified when these videos come out.